Okay, sit yourself onto your lift and then come into a good cross-leg position. So a little wriggle about, just make sure that you feel level and even at the seat bones. Hold onto your knees and pull against your knees to help you to elevate the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just look down at the floor, look at something that doesn't move. Soften the jaw and the tongue and the throat. After you have been sitting for a couple of moments, just go back to the seat bones, observe your balance. Maybe after a little while you realise that maybe you're not sitting level, so just adjust at the seat bones until you are. Look at the floor, look at something that doesn't move, so that your eyes are still in the sockets. Just focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Release your hands, bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together, lengthen from your armpits into your elbows. Elbows into the heels of your hands, the heels of the hands into the fingertips. And then with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Focus on filling your lungs from the bottom to the top. And emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. Draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest. And spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And then as as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to come back. Hold on to your knees, lift up into the chest, really elevating the heart area up to the ceiling, and then drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. Using your out breath to turn a little more deeply. Come back to the center. Hold on to your knees, lift up into the chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the left, drawing your abdomen across your ribs and your shoulders. And then come back to the center. So come off your seat bones and then sit back on your heels for baddangulyasana. Just feel that the seat bones are level and that the shins make good contact with the ground. Consciously push the shin bone into the shin skin, so that the shin skin makes good connection with the ground. That helps you to activate your thighs and activate the spine, elevating the heart area up to the ceiling. Hinge at the hips, keep the seat bones in contact with the heels as much as you possibly can. Stretch your arms forward. Keep your hands extending, keep your arms straight, and then finally bring the forehead down. But the main priority at this stage is to connect the seat bones to the heels, or at least aim to do that. Use a block between the seat bones and the heels if you can't. Keep the arms straight. Spread the fingers, spread the palms, squeeze the outer elbows inwards. Stretching out your back, turning the sacrum spine and the tailbone down to the heels. Lengthening from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, squeezing the outer elbows in so that the arms become straight. Lengthening into the palms, into the fingers, into the fingertips, into the fingernails. Come up onto your knees. Either, if you're not doing dog down, go into dandasana, so sit directly on the floor, stretch, legs outstretched, and then sit with the chest shooting up towards the ceiling, or come up into dog down. Baddangulyasana. Just feel where you are in the pose that you are in. Spend time just to acknowledge the breath. Activate your legs, especially the kneecaps, pressing the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees, pressing the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, turning the fronts of your thighs inwards so that the backs of the thighs broaden outwards. Okay, step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position, get a couple of blocks for your hands, and then bring your feet as wide apart as the mat. So have the outside edge of your feet in line with the outside edge of your mat. Have your hands on your hips, lift up into the chest, wing the elbows towards each other. Try and creep the thumbs towards each other, try and wing the elbows towards each other. Activate the legs, tightening the kneecaps, activating the thigh muscle, lifting the thigh muscle up towards the top of the leg and turning the fronts of the thighs consciously from the little toe side to the big toe side. And then keeping the head lifted, keeping the back straight, hinging entirely at the hips. Come forwards, hinging at the hips, winging the elbows back, projecting the chin and the chest forwards. And then release the hand and come down onto the blocks. Have the blocks underneath your shoulders. Be on your fingertips. Press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Lift the seat bones. Project the chin and the chest forwards. Listen to the breath. Feel that both legs are working evenly. Aim for evenness of action. Feel where the legs are in 3 dimensions and lift the legs out of the feet, up into the hip socket. Feel that both legs are working evenly, projecting the chin and the chest forwards. If there's no problem with your back, you can go down lower. Go down lower incrementally. Keep the weight of your legs in your heels. So as you come forwards, as you come lower, resist the temptation to bring your weight towards the toes. Hit the shins back so that the weight is definitely in the heels. Lift the seat bones away from the heels. Press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Feel that the legs are working with a levelness of action. Okay, bring your hands into your hips. Bend your knees on the way up if you need to, and then come up into a standing position. Just be in Tadasana. So the inner edge of the feet together, big toes, heels together, spreading the little toes out to the side. Tighten the kneecaps. Draw the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees. Draw the inner knees towards the back of the room, so that makes you turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Gently turn the tailbone in without disturbing the legs. Lift from the abdomen to the diaphragm to the collarbone, lengthening from the shoulders into the fingertips. Turning those inner knees towards the wall behind you. So that action in itself makes you stick the tailbone out a little. Sticking the tailbone in, drawing the tailbone in, makes you want to turn the thighs outwards. So just find that balance between turning those inner knees towards the back of the room, pushing the inner knees away from each other and lifting the inner knees up towards the groins. Turning the fronts of the thighs inwards, tucking the tailbone in. Finding that compactness in the tailbone region. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards the chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide for trikonasana. Turn the left toes in, the right leg and foot. all the way out. And for these poses, we want that inner knee to rotate around towards the outer knee. So the inner knee around towards the outer knee, so that the legs turn outwards. So feel the inner knee, turn the inner knee around towards the outer knee. Just feel that the hips feel level at this stage. Just feel that the legs are working with evenness. If the hips don't feel level, have a look at the position of your feet. So if that heel isn't in line with the instep or the toes, then your hips are going to be round like this. So just start from the feet. If it feels a little stiff in your hips, then bring your foot more like in line with your toes. Turn those inner knees around to the outer knees. Lift up into the chest and then come over. Feeling that you can activate that back leg to level out the weight that you inevitably collapse into this left leg. So there should never be that feeling of collapse. If you feel that you're heavy on this right leg, then activate into that back leg. Lengthen from the hip down into the heel. Turning the inner knees around to the outer knees. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Broaden the chest into both arms evenly. So again, there's a feeling that often you want to just collapse into that straight into that right leg, but broaden the chest. Lift out of the heart area and into both arms. Reach up with the top hand, come back to the center. Keep your arms outstretched if you can. Swap the feet around. Again, just have a look at the alignment of the feet. And then again, turning this inner knee around to the outer knee, just to get the legs to turn. Just feel that there's evenness of action of the legs. You're working into that back leg as much as focusing on that front leg. Keep that back leg deeply integrated as you come down and over, broadening the chest. Look up if you can. Keep turning the inner knee around to the outer knee. So with that back leg, rather than overturning it, slice the inner knee towards the back of the room now, and the outer knee also towards the back of the room, that back leg. But turn the inner knee of that front leg around to the outer knee. And then come back to the center, bring the feet parallel. And then step or jump the feet back together. Just come back into Tadasana. And now we turn the legs inwards. We turn the fronts of the legs inwards, so slice the inner knees towards the back of the room. Feel that the feet are flat on the floor and push the inner knees away from each other. And lift the inner knees up towards the groins. Turn the inner knees towards the back of the room. Tuck the tailbone in. Feel that the buttock flesh draws down to the floor. Lift up into the chest. Stretch your arms out in front. Interlock the fingers. Turn the palms all the way out. Keep your legs firmly activated. And then raise your arms up and over your head. Baddangulyasana. Baddangulyasana. Bring in the arms beyond your ears. keeping the legs really firmly activated. Pushing the inner knees away from each other, lifting the inner knees up towards the groin so that you lift the insteps. Release your arms. Swap the interlock of the fingers so that you do the unnatural interlock. So the other index finger is on the top of the stack, and then turn your palms all the way out, and then again raise your arms over your head. Again, going back to your legs and back to your Tadasana. Turn into the legs, the activation of the inner knees. To the breath. Just focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate breaths. And then gently release your arms, and then just come back into Tadasana. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Okay, grab yourself a belt and put the belt over your shoulder, your right shoulder, and then come back into Tadasana. So we can do gomukhsasana, the head of the cow. So just have the inner edge of your feet together, tightening the kneecaps, drawing the inner knees towards the back of the room, lifting up into the chest. Stretch your left arm forwards without disturbing the shoulders, so try and keep the shoulders level. Turn the palm all the way out, rotating the upper arm in the socket, and then continue to rotate the upper arm in the socket as you reach behind you, and then at the last minute bend your elbow and assist that hand up towards the neck. Try and get the fingers to touch the neck. Reach up, Urdhva with the right hand. Reach to the ceiling. And then keep the elbow high as you bend the elbow. Keep reaching into the elbow. And then see, can you take hold of the fingers behind you? If you can't, then you just get hold of the belt however you can. Now at this stage, at the initial stage, the pose probably becomes a bit like this. So you stick the tailbone out, you lose your Tadasana. So go back to the kneecaps, go back to the thighs, turning them inwards. Draw the tailbone in, draw the abdomen towards the spine, draw the lower ribs towards the spine. Pull the bottom elbow down to the floor, the top elbow up to the ceiling. Keep creeping the fingers ever closer together. Listen to the breath. Pull the bottom elbow down to the floor, the top elbow up to the ceiling. And then gently release the top arm. And then just drop the chest a little, let the other arm release, and then just stretch down into Tadasana. Put the belt over to the other shoulder. So I usually don't need it on that first side, but on this second side, this shoulder for me is quite stiff. So often I need the belt on the other side. So it's often different on one side than the other. Stretch your right arm forwards. Again, trying not to push that right shoulder forwards. Try and keep the shoulders level. Turn the palm all the way out, rotating the upper arm in the socket. So the upper arm rotates in the socket. That's the key to finding the space in this pose. Keep rotating that upper arm in the socket, and then again assist your arm up your back. So with the other hand, just assist that arm up your back. Try and reach the neck with the fingers, and then reach up. Reach out of the previous pose. It will still be in that shoulder. It feels really nice to just lengthen up and out of the previous pose. Then keeping the elbow high, reach down and then see if you can take hold. So I can just about touch my fingers, but I'm going to start off with the belt on this side, because this is always my slightly stiffer side. So you just pull against the belt, pulling the bottom elbow to the floor, the top elbow to the ceiling. Go back to your Tadasana. Turn the tailbone in, draw the abdomen to the spine, the lower ribs to the spine. And then bit by bit, just creep the hands closer together. Breathing even deep inhalations and exhalations. So after being with the belt for a little while, I can eventually get my fingers together, but it always feels like I need the belt on this side first. So maybe that's the same for you. Maybe you just work with the belt continually. Maybe you don't need the belt at all. Maybe there's no difference between the two shoulders. Okay, and then gently release that top arm. That's the nice one. The back arm feels like it's stuck a little, so drop the chest. Just give yourself space and then release the arm down to the floor. Just come back into your Tadasana, working those inner knees, tucking the tailbone in, lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone. Turn the palms all the way out again, rotating in the upper arms. Listen to the breath. Focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. And then just release and let go of the belt. And then bring your feet hip width apart, turn your toes in, raise your arms up over your head, bring the thumbs into the crease of the elbows. If you're protecting your back, if you've got a stiffness in your back, then rather than coming all the way down, just come forwards, resting your arms on the back of a chair or a tabletop, and then hit the legs back. If you're going all the way down, then keep the arms lifted as you come down, keep the head lifted, and then hinge entirely at the hips, and then let the top of the body hang down. Keeping your legs firmly in Tadasana, turning the inner knees towards the back of the room, pushing the inner knees away from each other, and lifting the inner knees up towards the groin. So you should be able to see your insteps. Are they lifting? If they're not, push the inner knees a little further away from each other, lift the inner knees up towards the groin. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then release your hands down to the floor, or bring your hands onto your shins if you can't reach the floor, and then come back into half uttanasana, lengthening the chin and the chest away. Just breathe in through the nose, allowing the abdomen to accommodate the breath. So we're going to go back into dog down. If you're not doing dog down, then go into baddangulyasana. Lay on your back with your feet together, your knees apart, have your feet as close to the seat bones as you can. If you can go into dog down, then if you can keep your legs straight, then do. Otherwise, bend your knees and then walk your hands towards the end of your mat. Have your hands shoulder width apart. Step your feet hip width apart. And then come back up into dog down, svanasana. Gauge your inner balance. Activate it evenly. So feel whether your left side is working evenly with your right side. Your arms are working evenly with your legs. Your spine working evenly with your thighs. And just work through imbalance. Make the less willing side copy the more willing side. Mirror imaging it. Okay, gently come down onto your knees, sit back on your heels for a moment. If you're in baddangulyasana, just stay in baddangulyasana for a moment longer. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Just observe your energy, observe your focus, observe your breath. Okay, just sit yourself on the floor and stretch your legs out. Have a belt where you can reach it, and you might need a couple of blocks as well. You might need a folded blanket. So just roll over, move the buttock flesh out to the sides so that you sit evenly. Have the inner edge of the feet, the inner edge of the big toes touching. You might have your heels apart. Draw the inner knees down to the floor. Have your hands at the sides of the hips. So perhaps sitting directly on the floor in dandasana works for you. You can lift the chest, or you might want to sit on a folded blanket. So let's all sit on a folded blanket just to feel how that feels different to sitting directly on the floor. So sit yourself on a folded blanket. So you're just giving yourself a little gentle elevation. Roll over, move the buttock flesh out to the sides, and then feel how it feels to lift up into the chest. Now, maybe there's a subtle difference. Maybe it's not that subtle. Maybe you're able to bring levelness. You can lift up into the chest a little more successfully. Get the belt and then throw the belt around the feet. And then hold onto the belt and push your feet consciously into the belt. Pull the belt towards you like you're riding a horse, lifting up into the heart area. Lengthen the legs from the hips into the heels. Tighten the kneecaps, turn the inner knees down towards the floor. Lift up into the chest. So using the belt just gives you a little more access into the spine. Breathe even deep inhalations and exhalations. If you've got a bad back, then just stay at this stage, just finding that equilibrium between the chest and the legs. Just working them evenly. If there's no problem with your back, or if you know that your back will cope, then you can just shorten the distance a little between the hands and the feet, and then reactivate. Activating the legs, activating the kneecaps, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards, turning the inner knees down towards the floor. And a little bit at a time, just come forward. Again, just working sensitively with your back. Don't overdo it if there's back problems. But each time you come forwards a little more, reset the legs. Get them really straight, pressing down into the floor, lifting up into the chest. If you can reach around your feet, then do. Push the hips into the heels, press the knees in towards the backs of the fronts of the knees into the backs of the knee. Lengthening the chest, keeping the chest lifted, keeping the head lifted. So we're not necessarily going all the way down, but we're just stretching out the back, working the legs, moving into paschimottanasana even if we're not necessarily getting all the way down. Because the big temptation at this stage is to just drop your head and then you push, but then you round your back, you push the shoulder blades out. So just be happy to come forwards incrementally. Okay, and then gently come back to the center. Just feel that lightness that you feel in the head and in the chest from coming out of a forward bend. And then bring your legs into swastikasana. Just sitting on the lift, holding onto your knees, lifting up into the heart area, elevating the heart area to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down. Again, just be comfortable and happy to just find your balance, to find that the seat bones are evenly positioned. Find that levelness of the hips, and then turn to the right side, trying to maintain that levelness of the hips. And then come back to the center. Take a deep inhalation. And then turn to the left. Just feeling that levelness at the hips, adjusting if it doesn't feel level, drawing the torso evenly between the two hips to bring levelness at the seat bones. And then gently come back to the center. Just come down onto your back, have the folded blanket for your head. Just come down onto your back and just bring your head down onto the onto the blanket. Just stay with your knees bent for a moment. Knees bent, feet apart, knees together, just resting your back into the floor. Listen to the breath. Listen to the in-breath and the out-breath. Observe the levelness of the breath, or otherwise just acknowledge what is happening with your breath. Just hold on to the edges of the mat. Just straighten your arms, hold on to the edges of the mat and push the mat away from your shoulders. Consciously push the hand, like grip the sides of the mat like you want to tear it apart, and push the mat away from your shoulders so that your lumbar comes flat onto the floor. Bend your knees and then raise your legs up for viparita karanhi. Keep the arms extended and you don't stay with your legs in the air for too long. Just very briefly. Keep the tailbone down, keep the sacrum down. Keep pulling the mat apart and pulling the mat away from the shoulders so that your sacrum spine really glues itself to the floor. So just a little gentle inversion, viparita karanhi. Working to extend the legs from the hips into the heels. Trying to straighten the legs. If you struggle to straighten the legs, then put a lift underneath your back. Okay, and then bend your knees, bring your feet back onto the floor, just release the mat, stretch your legs out, just come up onto your elbows, make sure you're in a really good straight line right down the centre of the mat. And then just align yourself down along the centre of the mat. Breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, listening to the sound of your breath as it enters and as it exits. Just allowing the body to completely release into the ground. Letting the body become heavy. Because out of that heaviness comes a sensation of lightness that radiates from the bones and into the muscles. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness down into the toes, into the fingers, and up into the top of the head. Finding that evenness of energy through the breath. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Bring yourself back into this pose of sirvasana. And then bend your knees in towards your chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just a gentle massage on the spine. Just gently roll over onto your right side. Stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into the seated position. Just hold onto your knees for a moment, just bring yourself level in your cross legs. Bring your hands into Namaste. Lengthen from your armpits into your elbows. Close your eyes, draw the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Draw your inhalation down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the inversions bring to the body and the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to seek to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Just bring the tip of the index finger with the tip of the thumb, just a gesture of wisdom and physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry into our day. And then as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you have really lifted your energy and giving yourself some good positive energy to put into the day. So thank you very much for joining me.